Hello, I'm Ronald Butch Rogers. Welcome to the Columbia City Cemetery virtual walking tour, sponsored by the Adair County Genealogical Society and the Adair County Public Library. This segment is dedicated to Eros Barger, baseball player and businessman. I think Mr. Barger's about ready. I'm going to go get him, and he will be right with you. Hello, folks. My name is Cy Barger. I guess you all want to talk a little baseball. So first of all, during my rendition of my life, I may mention a few people, and I'd like for you to be introduced to them. I'm going to show you my father and mother are buried right back here. Flavius J. Barger, F.J. Barger, and my mother Addie. My brother Eros and his wife Lula are buried right over here. I will mention them a little bit probably during our talk. So if you want to talk some baseball, let's talk baseball. I was born in 1885 over in Jamestown, Kentucky, and at the ripe old age of 17, I left Jamestown and went to Lexington, Kentucky, and enrolled in Transylvania College. I played baseball and basketball at Transylvania from 1902 until I graduated, in 1905. Now, I did some studying also. But you know, I was extremely fortunate. The summer after I graduated from Transylvania College, I pitched my first Major League Baseball game in New York. I played for a team called the New York Highlanders in 1906 and 1907. Some people that have written nice stories about me, and I appreciate it, said I played for the New York Yankees. Well, not exactly. I played for the New York Highlanders, and in 1906 and 1907 we were known as the Highlanders, and in 1913 we changed the name from the Highlanders to the New York Yankees. So you know the old adage, rose by any other name would smell as sweet as a rose. So if you want to call it the Yankees, you can, but it was actually the New York Highlanders. I didn't play a lot, but it was a great experience being in the American League with the New York Highlanders for 2 seasons. I pitched 1 game in 1906, 2 games in 1907. So in 1908 and in 1909, I played still in New York. I played in what was called the Eastern League. Now, the Eastern League would be considered a AAA ball club in this day and time. I played for a team called the Rochester. It's Rochester, New York, and for a minor league team, we were quite good, especially in 1909. I had a really good year for me. I won 23 games. We won the Eastern League Championship. So that propelled me back up to the major leagues again. In 1910, 1911, and 1912, still in New York, I played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Actually, in 1910, I played for the Brooklyn Supras. And in 1911 and 1912, we had changed our names from the Supras to the Brooklyn Dodgers. 1910 was probably my best year in the majors. The previous year I won 23 games, but that was in AAA ball. 1910 in Major League ball was a great year for me. I pitched in 58 baseball games. I pitched in 58 baseball games. I had a record of 13 and 13. No, I had a record of 15 and 15. 15 wins, 15 losses. But you know, everybody has, you know, I pitched 270 innings that year. So my arm was about to fall off at the end of the season. And I did pitch in 35 games is what it was. But you know, everybody, whether in athletic or whether they're in life, or whether they're in, whatever they're in, has one shining moment. And on June the 16th of 2010, it was my shining moment. Pitching for the Brooklyn, we were playing a team, the Chicago Cubs. And the Chicago Cubs at that time was by far the best baseball team in the National League. They were in first place when we played them. They won the league that year. But I started pitching the game. The game lasted 14 innings. I pitched all 14 innings. And you know, I was a right-handed pitcher, but I was a left-handed batter. And for a pitcher, I was a pretty good hitter. So 14 innings, gave up only 2 runs. In the bottom of the 14th inning, with 1 out, a runner on second base, I hit a line drive double to right center field, scored the man from second base. We win. The stands emptied, carried me off the field. I stayed in the dugout for another hour, in the locker room for another hour. When I left, they were still outside chanting. So I'm a country boy from Jamestown, Kentucky, so I kind of ran away. But anyway, that was, everybody has a shining moment, and that was really mine. Now in 1911, I had another good year. Pitched 217 innings. 19 and 12, a fair year. But after 19 and 12 and 19 and 13, I was back in the minors. 19 and 14 and 19 and 15, I was back up to the majors. Now this is an odd thing. 19 and 14 and 19 and 15, I played for a team out of Pittsburgh called the Pittsburgh Rebels. We were in what's called the Federal League. And this is the only time I know of that there were actually 3 major leagues. There was, of course, the American League, there was the National League, and there was the Federal League. All of your records from the Federal League only lasted 2 years, 1914, 1915. All of your records, your stolen bases, your walks, your ones, your everything that you did actually translated over as a major league record. It took several years to get that done. Matter of fact, it didn't get done until 1968. But all of our records and everything were considered as a major league. So that was the only 2 years that I know of that was actually 3 major leagues. So after my last major league game was in October 2nd of 1915. After that, you know, anybody that's been in athletics know it doesn't come out of you very quickly. So in 1919, there was a group from Memphis, Tennessee, contacted me and wanted to know if I would manage a team down there in what's called the Southern League. Now that Southern League probably would be about an A-League baseball team right now. And the team was called the Memphis Chickasaws. And we played Nashville, Chattanooga, Tallahassee, things like that. And of course I said yes, because I still had a hankering to play ball. I knew I knew how to manage, because I've been in baseball all my life. You know, 7 years in the major leagues, and I knew how to manage, but I still had a hankering to play. So that one year, 1919, I was 34 years old. I managed. I played in 63 games and pitched, and also played outfield. So that pretty well got the playing portion of me pretty finished up. So my 7 years of actual playing in the major leagues were 164 games. I pitched 151. I played outfield in 11. I played first base in 1. Those 2 were for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And for the, I even played shortstop one game for the Pittsburgh Rebels. So that's a pretty good career, I think. So after the 19 and 19 session, I didn't do much baseball until I was given the opportunity, which I really feel was a great opportunity. In 19 and 23 and 19 and 24, I was the head man, the coach of the University of Kentucky baseball team. Our first year in 1923, we were not as good as I had hoped. We won 4 and lost 7. The second year, we coached them up a little bit and taught them a few things. The second year, we were 8 wins and 5 losses. And that's the first year, excuse me, that Kentucky ever beat Notre Dame or teams like Michigan. In 2 years of coaching University of Kentucky, we were 12 wins and 12 losses, which I was very, very satisfied with. So I think, you know, that's probably most of my baseball history, with one exception. I'm resting right here. In September the 23rd of 1964, I passed away, and 2 years later, in 1966, I was inducted to the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame. Now that I know that, I consider it a great honor. I was the 17th inductee, and I went in after such heroes as Ed Diddle, the basketball coach at Western, Adolph Rupp, the basketball coach at University of Kentucky, Pee Wee Reese, another Brooklyn Dodger great. Actually, Pee Wee Reese was given credit as the first major leaguer to wear a baseball helmet. I think that's about it for baseball. That was a enjoyable and good career. Now, for my business life, when we finished playing baseball with the Pittsburgh Rebels in 1915, in January of 1916, my brother, Eros, which is 8 years my senior, and I bought a business downtown here in Columbia on the square. It would be down in the corner there where First and Farmers National Bank is, where Nail's Variety Store used to be. We bought a business and opened a hardware store. Now we came up, you know, 2 brothers owning it. We came up with a catchy name. I don't know how in the world we did this. We named it Barger Brothers Hardware. So anyway, we kept that store for 30 years, from 1916 to 1946. Enjoyed it. I had a large farm here in Adair County. Had some cattle, had tobacco, had all that. And along with that came your civic duties that you do. And I had a few civic duties and I enjoyed them. I received my 50-year Masonic pin. I was on the Columbia, what was called then Town Board. It's now called the City Council. I was on the Board of Directors of the First National Bank. I was on the Board of Directors of the Adair County Stockyard. I was on what was called the Selective Service Board, actually called the Draft Board. And I was the first president of the first Chamber of Commerce in Columbia and Adair County. Well, come to think of it, if you're the first president of the first chamber, you would have to be. Anyway, I was the first president of the first Chamber of Commerce in Columbia and Adair County. You know, all of those things were great, but probably the thing that I got the most gratification of, the most joy from, was my involvement of the Columbia Christian Church. I was a Sunday school teacher for years and years. I was an elder for years and years, and I surely did enjoy my time with the Columbia Christian Church. Now, as far as where Myrtle, my wife, Myrtle Myers Barger, my wife, my love, my life, when we moved back to Columbia, we lived in a little house up there on Jamestown Hill. It's the house just above the Russell Tribune House, and the house is an exact replica of the house we lived in 1915 when I played ball for the Pittsburgh Rebels. We loved that house, so we just made it there, and it's just across the street from where my nephew lived, Chelsea Barger, C.R. Barger, Chelsea Barger, in that big white house on Jamestown Hill. You may have heard of one of his business. He and his wife Mary D. Barger opened up Barger Insurance. So that's that, and that's where we lived up there on that. So, you know, if this weren't a virtual tour, I could ask questions from you all. But since there's no one else here, I can't ask questions. But I do truly appreciate you taking your time to watch this segment. I appreciate it. And I'm sure the people from the Adair County Genealogical Society and the Adair County Public Library appreciate you participating in this also. And I would like to invite you to watch all the other segments if you would please. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.